I promised you I'd make you another video showing alternative commentary of the Belgian fraud, which is what this video is going to do. I've actually tried to do this twice already, and this is what happened. The first one I did was 53 minutes long, and I thought it was too long, so I didn't publish it. So I tried to make it shorter, and it was 54 minutes long when I made a redone. And on the second time, it picked up copyright restrictions, which weren't picked up on the first one, yet it's exactly the same footage I'm using. So here goes with the third video, and I'll try and make it as short as possible. Now, what's to bear in mind is the facts, which are the truth, regulations. This here, the sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. So if we just scroll back up here, refraction, rolling, start, restart. In order for a race to start, we've got to go green. Green for go. It's quite simple, isn't it? All right. It's lights out and away we go. We're now under green conditions. Go. We're racing. You can go as fast as you can and you can overtake each other. That is what racing consists of. Oh, we've got a safety concern. Stop racing. Slow down. We might even make you go behind the safety car. You're not racing during these conditions. In order for there to be a race, you've got to have some sort of race. Yeah? We hadn't got any sort of race. But these are the regulations. If, after one or more formation laps behind the safety car, the track conditions are considered unsuitable to start the sprint qualifying session or the race from a standing start, the message rolling start will be sent to all competitors via the official messaging system. Never given. All FIA light panels will display RS. Okay, never happened. And the car's orange lights, this is the safety car's lights, will be extinguished. Never happened. This will be the signal to the competitors and drivers that will be entering the pit lane at the end of that lap. At this point, the first car in line behind the safety car may dictate the pace. We know what the crack is. When the safety car departs the track, the lead car becomes the leader and controls the pace. As the safety car is approaching the pit entry, the FIA light panels will be extinguished and the green flag or green light panel will be displayed at the line. Never happened. No driver may overtake until he passes the line. Okay, we know about this. Under safety car conditions, under yellow conditions, there is no overtaking. If there's no overtaking, there's no competing for position. You're just following the leader. There was never the ability to contest position. No race. Okay. The sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety car has returned to the pits. And that never happened. This is actually now going to be the second video of 3. The third video is going to show you what the BBC commentary team said. These are Formula 1 accredited media. These are the media companies that Formula 1 allows to report on its sport. So Sky Sports F1 is the contracted broadcaster. On the global feed, it will be the voices of Crofty and Brundle that are used mostly to mind condition the masses. This is F1 TV's Formula 1 management's own commentary team. I believe it's Alex Brundle and I believe it's Jolyon Palmer. I might be wrong on that. The third video is going to be Andrew Benson's BBC's team, okay, of mind conditioners, all complying with the same bullshit narrative. They had 2.5 hours to contrive what they were all going to say in relation to conditioning everybody to believe that you were witnessing something that constituted something that could be awarded points for and a Grand Prix result declared for it. They constructed that. Every accredited media must have got in a room to comply with that bullshit narrative. That is a fraud. That is Formula 1 management operating that fraud because they controlled the FIA to make that decision, to make this parade even a thing. That's how it works. There's this Concord agreement when all of the teams will comply with it and say nothing. They've all know these regulations. These are the regulations. There was no race. What did the teams do? All shut up, took the little bits of points, their sponsors, all got their brands, bit of advertising for a period of time, and the fans went away happy. Yay, everybody. But this is, as I say, the second one. So here we go. This is the footage I'm using. This is F1 TV footage owned by Formula One management. I'm utilising this footage under the guise of fair usage. It's a fair usage to analyse it and educate the world that you, Formula One management, defrauded the world by pretending that this was some sort of race. Not only did you defraud them, you contracted everybody else to defraud everybody too. This is the analysis of that. If you don't like me using your material to evidence to people that you defrauded people, take me to court on the ground of copyright. And what we'll do, we'll have a test case, because maybe existing copyright law doesn't actually make provision under the grounds of fair usage for the notion that if you are exposing somebody's crime using their owned footage, then that also constitutes fair usage, and you cannot invoke the notion of copyright protection to protect you from being exposed for your crime, Formula One. So take me to court, and what we will do will ensure that that court case is entirely transparent. So those of us that are taking you to task, taking action against you for your fraud, for your deception, for your fixing of the 2021 season, the world will see exactly what it is that you are doing. So we'll make that court case public, entirely transparent, and we'll hold the judiciary to account as well. We'll make sure that them, the establishment, aren't coming out with corrupt decisions, and we'll show the people the true nature of the British legal system. So let's go ahead with this.
We're due to get on track in 2 minutes. The safety car will lead the field round. We'll just have to follow the procedure a little bit, my understanding.
We'll just have to follow the procedure a little bit, says the commentator. I believe this is Palmer.
Of what will happen is the safety car will go out, and that will constitute a formation lap again. Then, once it comes past the stripe for the first time, that...
When he says the stripe, he's meaning the start-finish line. They'll be led out of the pits by the safety car. When it then goes around the track and goes over that start-finish line, what's going to happen?
Maybe another formation lap, or that may be the race start. That's up.
It may be another formation lap, or it may be the race start. This is what the mind conditioner is telling you. Now, the truth is this. The sprint qualifying session or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses it after the safety car's return to the pits. So if that safety car is on track, that race hasn't started. That's as simple as that. But these are the lies that we are being fed by the mind conditioning machine, the contracted media, the contracted broadcasters. Every single one of these is the equivalent of those actors and actresses that were seeking a role in one of Harvey Weinstein's films. If you wanted to be employed in that role, you had to be willing to get down on your knees and suck the cock. If you want a job in Formula One media, you need to be willing to get down on your knees and suck the cock and demonstrate to them that you will comply with the narrative.
Up to the race director, he will only be able to make that decision once the cars are out on track. But at the first time, that may be another formation lap, or that may be the race start. That's up to the race director. He will only...
Oh, look at how they paint the race director. Oh, the race director can decide. For instance, now he's got to comply with them regulations. Oh, the race director can decide if he's going to call it a race behind the safety car where everybody can only follow and not overtake. But if the race director wants to call that a race, then that makes it a race. No, it doesn't.
Only be able to make that decision once the cars are out on track. But as you can see, the rain has started to fall quite heavily again.
The rain has started to fall quite heavily again. We've just been delayed for 2.5 hours. You couldn't get the race started in the first instance. Things didn't improve to a point. Now it's getting heavier. I know. Let's send the cars out on track. And then when they send them out, it's like, oh, it looks like it's improved. Looks like we're going to get a race. You'll hear this now.
So the conditions may have changed in this time. So whether they just keep the safety car out for 5-10 laps, so it could be really, really good that the safety car doesn't stay out.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good.
For very long, and we can get out and get some really great running going on.
Yeah, it's great to see these
Great to see everybody.
on track cars heading out on track and making positive steps.
positive.
Towards getting a Belgian Grand Prix underway. And teams and drivers.
It's not happening, is it? We can see this. It's the conditions. They've just said it's actually gone a bit heavier rain. It's got worse. They were at a state where it wasn't good enough to go racing because it was deemed unsafe. It's got worse, and they're going to go and try racing. What do you think's really going on here? They're just trying to put something on so they don't have to refund anybody.
Are still going to be giving their feedback to the race director. 45 seconds until we are back underway here. Sergio Perez will be out and in the Grand Prix in the number 11 Red Bull, and a fantastic effort by the Red Bull team to get that car rebuilt back into the race. Get out of jail free card for Sergio.
I think
Get out of jail free card. Now, at the initial stages of this, Perez's car didn't even make it around that lap to form the original grid. He crashed on that lap where they go around the track to get on the grid, making him out of the race, and it was declared by the race director that he would not be allowed to start this race. He was already out of it. But now, Red Bull have done some incredible work, and Red Bull have become...
For me, the Red Bull have actually done some brilliant, what I call racecraft, but it's all pitcraft, if you like, with the Jonathan Wheatley and the Red Bull engineers and team management looking at the regulations, noting...
Jonathan Wheatley has looked at the regulations and noted that you can actually can get Perez back into the race. It's incredible, Wheatley's knowledge of the regulation. Michael, you know, you don't have to let those cars go right around the track, and then we've got a motor race on our hands. Yes, Michael, we'll allow for Max to start in third position as long as Lewis isn't on pole position. We'll negotiate the start order, even though Max wasn't given an infringement or a penalty for re-entering the track in an unsafe manner at Saudi 2021 either. Michael, everybody knows you don't pull a wheel up the inside at Copse Corner. We're very, very cross. That cunt, Jonathan Wheatley. Anyway, but yeah, Jonathan Wheatley knows the regulations, but nobody knows the regulations about when we go racing. The fact that you need to have a green lap.
That they could get the car, which had already been crashed, repaired and back in the race, and we're about to get going for the start of a formation lap.
I mean, they didn't know that regulation for George Russell's cars at Silverstone in 2022, did they? You know, that's what they were seeking to do there. But no, the regulation didn't apply there, did it?
I believe it to be not the start of the race. This repaired and back in the race, and we're about to get going for the start of a formation lap. I believe it to be not the start of the race.
Absolutely right. It's a formation lap.
So this will be a new formation lap, and then we will get the start of the race once the race director decides it's safe to do so.
Light is green.
Once the race director decides it's safe to do so. No mention of the safety car leaving the track and returning to the pits, and the race beginning when the leader crosses that start-finish line for the first time after that safety car's departed. No mention of that, which is what the regulation is. But he does talk about some of the regulations later on. Carry on.
The end of the pit lane. And the pit lane channel returned, and the clock has started to count down from an hour.
Well, by hook or by crook, that means the race will end by 7:17 local time in Belgium. So 59 minutes and 20 seconds of racing left, and that once that time has expired, the first car to cross the line, I think, will be the race winner. That will be how it.
And we've got really poor visibility and twats in the crowd setting off orange flares. You know, those really knowledgeable Formula One fans. Wankers.
It works. The orange beacons are going off in the grandstand as we go back into the free box layout. You can see Max Verstappen alongside a Mercedes, with another Mercedes poking his nose out on the other side of the circuit, and it certainly looks a bit clearer coming up the Kemmel rise, but certainly by no means clear. But look at that, they were coming up Kemmel, and Sergio Perez and Kimi Räikkönen coming down to the end of the pit lane. That's because they haven't yet started. They're joining the back of the train, I think. I thought they probably should have stopped at the light there, but they got waved onto the circuit to join the back of the line.
Oh, you thought they needed to wait in the pit lane for a pit lane start, did you, Jolyon? Is that what you thought? Okay, because it's what, formation lap. So you know you're going to go on to talk. Oh, is this first lap out now a racing lap? Nobody knows. Like Brundle and Crofty. Oh, we're following the safety car out the pit. Does this count as the first racing lap? Clearly it doesn't. Clearly it doesn't. We're behind a safety car.
So Norris is a long way behind the line there as well. Big gap, actually, I can see on the driver track between Giovinazzi and Lando Norris.
Well, this is a formation lap. There are rules about.
Now listen to this. This is a formation lap. There are rules. I see they know the rules and regulations, don't they?
This, you have to be within 10 car lengths of the car in front, I believe, or is it just the safety car? But yeah.
This is a formation lap. There are rules about a formation. Tell us about the rules about a rolling start restart. You know, the ones that I've just talked about. The one where the race will be deemed to have started when the safety car returns to the pits and the leader crosses that start-finish line for the first time after it's returned to the pits. Talk us through that rule and regulation. Oh, you don't. But for those of you that are really into your Formula One, you know, those of you Formula One fans that, you know that this is a highly complex technical sport, what this pit lane channel does for you is it gives you a cloud there with some precipitation coming from it to tell you that it's raining. It tells you the temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit so that you know what that temperature means relative to each of those cars and how it impacts each of those cars differently. The track temperature as well in Celsius and Fahrenheit. So again, you can understand with your vast knowledge of Formula One how each of those teams are impacted by those different temperatures and who's going to benefit from that and who's not, along with the humidity being 96.6% and the wind speed being 1.8 kilometers an hour, which is massively important because some of those cars will be massively hit by that wind speed and others not so much, depending on all the different levels of downforce they're running, because all of you are really aware of this highly complex technical sport and aware that that data that they're providing you with is really useful to your knowledge, isn't it? Isn't it? Is it? Let me know what you think in the comment section, or is it just bullshit?
Lando Norris dropped back a long way, but Kimi Räikkönen, obviously having just left the pits, is a long way behind Lance Stroll. And yeah, Yuki Tsunoda was a little bit way back from Lando Norris. Our driver tracker hasn't picked up Sergio Perez either, so that's interesting to see. I think we're going to see not only a fun bit of motor racing here, but we're also going to see...
We're also going to see nothing, because all we can see is orange fucking smoke. These knowledgeable Formula One fans, they're waving their arms in the air, they're cheering, and can't see anything because they're just setting off flares.
Some interesting regulatory discussion at the end of the race, which I particularly enjoy doing. But look at the fans there, those orange flares going off. They want to see Max Verstappen in the lead of a Grand Prix, and they will. Look, we've got lap 1 of 39 on our screen here. I think lap 1 will start at the end of this lap, not this lap. I think this is a...
Look at it. Oh, we don't know. We're gaslighting everybody. We're just painting a murky picture. Is it a grey area? Is there a loophole? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the rules and regulations are, and we're not going to tell you.
Formation lap, but we will get confirmation of that.
Oh, we need confirmation from the authorities for that.
And the fans are very happy to see these cars on track, as am I. What I really want to see, though, is the lights go out on top of that Mercedes, because we are going to get some seriously good action when that happens.
Yeah, stay excited. It's going to be some seriously good action.
George Russell versus this man, Max Verstappen. And just behind them, Verstappen's championship rival, Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time champion, on home territory for Max Verstappen for the first of 2 races in Max Verstappen's backyard. Will Hamilton be able to take the fight to his Dutch rival, or will there be another English driver with links to Mercedes getting in the mix as well? Valtteri Bottas starting the race down in 12th, probably won't get too involved in this.
What will George Russell be able to do when we go green in what are...
When we go green. What will he be able to do when we go green? Because you see, at the moment, he can't do anything because we're not green. We're not go. Nothing has started. But has the race started? But what can he do when we go green? Yeah, nothing. So it's not a race, is it? It's only a race when you can compete. A race is a contest. See who can get to the finish line first. And that is having completed a certain number of laps or a certain amount of time. Yeah, that's what the race is. The race to the finish. If you can't race to the finish, you've not had a race.
Extremely difficult conditions. Max Verstappen, the crowd right behind him, going absolutely bananas.
The crowd are going bananas. Now, if you are one of the crowd going bananas, sadly, you're part of what is wrong in this world. Okay? Are you excited? Are you setting off an orange flare? Are you going bananas? Are you cheering at the top of your voice and waving your arms in the air? Because a few cars are parading around in front of you. Brum, brum, yay! Hey, isn't this brilliant? I'm living my best life. Yes, yes you are. Yes, we'll take your £250 and we'll parade the cars in front of you for 2 laps and tell you your favourite won. Yes, you had a great time, didn't you? Off you go. Thank you.
In the grandstand, and then everyone behind.
Just buy these magic beans, you gullible twat.
This is a half-point race, will be a half-point race, but every single point in this...
This will be a half-point race. Have we had a race yet? Do we know that we're going to get a race?
Formula One World Championship will be critical.
Now we're riding on board of the Red Bull here, but look in front. This is riding board with Sergio Perez.
Is he 10 car lengths? Is he within his 10 car lengths that you quoted? But if F1 TV, Formula One management are going to interject with...
So you look in front, you can see red flashing lights. That was crucial. Do you remember when George Russell went out for the first formation laps? He couldn't see.
There they are, the Red Bull scum. Cheating, lying bastards.
On the radio said, I cannot see the red flashing light in front. Well, you could very clearly see that the red flashing light in front was visible, and that was one of the key moments. So whilst the track conditions, we heard from Alan Van...
Well, if you're 10 car lengths behind, then that spray that's coming off the car in front disperses, and therefore your visibility is better. The closer you are to that car, you're actually encountering a much denser plume of spray coming off the back of that vehicle. So yes, it might be that when you're a little bit further back, your visibility is a bit better. But they do interject at some point with Perez's radio message, trying to convince everybody that, oh, the drivers are saying it's now feeling like it's raceable, when it clearly isn't. But it's clearly a manufactured message designed to inform fans or get you on the edge of the seat to make you think that you're going to start seeing racing.
The track itself was good enough to go racing on. The visibility wasn't, but actually looking at that, the spray really doesn't look too bad. Those Unimogs have done a good job.
And the more these drivers can keep on pounding...
That doesn't look that bad. The Unimogs have done a good... Hang on a minute. A minute or two ago, you were saying that the conditions seem to be getting worse. Now, oh, it's actually, they've done a really good job. Is this better than before? No, it's not. If it was, they'd have done something other than red flag it, wouldn't they, lads? But what you're doing, you're mind conditioning people. You're pretending to people that there's a chance that things have improved and we're almost at a point where we can go racing again. Hyping everybody up, aren't you, lads? It's not a reflection of the truth, is it?
Around the circuit, the more...
Because this is what the visibility levels are.
We will dry the racetrack, and the closer we will get to...
The more they'll go round and dry the racetrack, the closer we'll get. Now, the problem is these cars go over a section of track, and once they've all gone over that section of the track, it'll be another 2 minutes before they go over it again. And in that time, the rain's still falling and it'll get wet again. So it'll be standing water again.
Racing conditions. Here we are on board the main screen with George Russell as he takes a look ahead down the Kemmel Straight.
Can you see all these red lights and everything, lads?
And this is the breaking point for LeCun.
Well, I'm wondering if that's rain coming down. I think it's a little bit of that, but it's also rain coming off the back of Max Verstappen's car.
Max's car can create rain as well. Incredible.
You saw on the F1 TV camera there, but yeah, the fog, that's more fog as well as spray at the top of the hill there, at the top of the Kemmel Rise going into Le Combe. I think it's interesting. I suspect these conditions are just about getting to the point where we can go racing without a safety.
Now, Jolyon thinks it's just about where we can go racing without the safety car. Thanks for your valuable insight, Jolyon. You see, this is what they pay you for, isn't it? Just talk everybody up, talk it up as though we're just about to get started, and then we won't. But make them think that they're seeing something here, Jolyon. Down on your knees, suck the cock, Jolyon.
Yep, and certainly Max Verstappen will be pushing, I know.
Yep, says Alex. Absolutely right. See, we constantly affirm each other. Yep. This is what they do. This is what Brundle and Crofty do. This is what they all do. Affirm each other as being correct. Absolutely right there.
To get this show on the road for those...
Get the show. Yep, this is the show.
Fans that have come to see him.
Get the fans who are going bananas, seeing what they're seeing.
One of his 2 home Grand Prix, as we've already covered.
Oops. Buffering.
These F1 boys love to race. They want to race. They are here to race.
Race, race, race.
Safety car driver.
Keep using the word race, even though it's a parade.
Still checking out the conditions. Still reporting back to Michael Massey.
Going through the motions, because they know that they're just doing a parade.
They're not talking much, are they, between them and the Mercedes safety car?
Because they know it's bullshit.
They seem to be just riding round and well, I think they're
leading the parade.
Ben Mullen's actually had quite a good time out there in that car.
I mean, the amount of safety car there's been this weekend, the thing will need an oil change by the time.
The safety car will need an oil change.
By the time we get to Zandvoort, but surely soon it must be time to get underway again.
Get underway again? We never got underway in the first instance.
And lap 2 of 39. So at this point, do we understand the race has begun?
Let's ask the question. At this point, do we understand the race has begun? Why would you think that? So you could quote from the regulations, but here. The sprint qualification or the race will be deemed to have started when the leading car crosses the line after the safety cars return to the pits. Yet Brundle wants to ask us the question. I believe it's Brundle. Apologies if it's not. But no, because we've got the safety car on track. So why are you asking if this the race started? Are we to believe the race has now started? No, it clearly hasn't. Okay, and you're also pointing us to lap 2 of 39. The laps of being 39. That's just because we're told. Again, we can't authenticate this ourselves, but we're told these cars are fueled for 39 laps. So for each of these laps, that if you make these cars go round the track to try and dry that circuit out, create a dry line by dispersing the water, each one is a lap of fuel being used. And so if you cover those laps get taken away of what the actual race laps will be, because you don't have the fuel in the car to complete 5 laps behind the safety car and then the full 39 laps. It only leaves what's left, 34 laps of fuel left in the car. So the race becomes a 34 lap race if you completed 5 laps as these so-called formation laps. That's all it does. That's all it's there for. But the race only begins when the conditions go green, when you start racing.
As the laps are now counting out. Let's hear Sergio.
On the back, it's getting better. It's much better on the back.
A selected message to inform everybody. Oh, it's getting better. We're getting close to being able to race, everybody. Stay excited.
At the end of the lap, final sector is better.
Okay, copy that.
Are these drivers paid to purposefully say that? Is this why Sergio was allowed back in the race? Yeah, you will let you back in, Sergio. Just make out that things are going to be suitable for racing. Keep people guessing.
Well, Max Verstappen wants to get the race going, and I wonder if Sergio Perez has
Yeah, Max wants to get the race going because we haven't started yet.
been told to, but actually it does look an awful lot better from that onboard camera. We're still just trying to get some clarification about the status of these laps. They will come off the total race distance, but the total race distance is irrelevant now because it's a timed race, 53 minutes on the clock. So how far the race is going, it's just whether this qualifies as racing laps or if these are formation laps. But then with the race only going to a clock, it's actually a bit less important.
Well,
Yes, the key is whether these are racing laps or formation laps. But with the race going to the clock, it's a bit less important. Let's just play that again.
Far the race is going, it's just whether this qualifies as racing laps or if these are formation laps. But then with the race only going to a clock, it's actually a bit less important.
well,
No, it really is important because a racing lap is where you can compete and a formation lap is where you can't. So it's not a race until you go green.
what it is important for is the moment at which this becomes a point-scoring Formula One race, which...
Yes, the moment it becomes a point-scoring Formula 1 race. So what you have to have is a race. You have to have conditions go green, so people race, and that has to be 2 laps worth of that race. But is it Alex Brundle? Did Daddy tell you to say this, Alex?
It's actually a bit less important.
Well, what it is important for is the moment at which this becomes a point-scoring Formula One race.
Well, for it to become a point-scoring one race, firstly the race has to start, and then there has to be at least 2 laps. Yeah, at least 2 laps. So we certainly haven't even started yet, have we? You could quote the regulations. You could quote that Red Bull knew the regulations for getting Perez back in the race. You could quote the 10 car length regulation, but you couldn't quote the start regulation, could you? Funny that. Funny that nobody in the media could quote that regulation. Why is that? Do you not know? Do you lack the basic competence and knowledge of the sport? Is that what it is, lads? But you got a job anyway. Why is that? Nepotism, because Daddy was a commentator, because Daddy does the job, because you're a former racer yourself, and therefore you've also got the expertise over the regulations. So that qualifies you to talk about it in the media, does it? To educate people? Oh, it's all part of the club, isn't it? All of those that are willing to be down on the knees to suck the cock.
Which, if these laps are counted as official race laps, would be now. So...
if they're counted as official race laps, that would be now that it'd be a point scoring race. Look at how you're being conditioned, lied to.
This is in effect the moment. 2 racing laps are what you need.
This is the moment. 2 racing laps are what you need. Well, we've called the first one the formation lap, right? Which it clearly is. They're on lap 2, right? Or is this, are they going on to lap 3? Oh, who knows? They're behind the safety car. The race hasn't started. The safety car hasn't gone into the pits, and the cars remain out on track and that lead across that start-finish line for the first time after the safety car's left. It isn't a race. No racing has started. There's not been a go. We've not gone green. And he's saying...
these laps are counted as official race laps would be now. So this is in effect the moment. 2 racing laps are what you need. And so under the...
yeah, but not behind the safety car because we're not racing. This is Formula One management lying to you, gaslighting you. Defrauding you.
The assumption that these laps are racing laps because they haven't.
And the assumption that these are racing laps couldn't quote the regulation. Why would you assume they're racing laps when we're not green? Never have been green.
Been because you've got green light pit exit open and they have.
Oh, because you've got a green light at the pit exit. That makes them a racing lap, does it, Alex? Really? Is that what you've been told to tell everybody? Oh, focus everybody's attention on the green light at the end of the pit lane, not the orange lights, the yellow lights all around the circuit, and the fact that you're following a safety car, not able to compete, not able to contest. Just focus on the green light at the end of the pit lane, which says, yes, you can go out the pits, you can enter the track, but not overtake or not race on the track because the track's under yellow.
Not been determined as formation laps. I believe that this now is a point scoring F1 race.
Yeah, I mean, we're waiting for clarity.
No, as I've said, as the regulations say, the race will be deemed to have started when the safety car gets itself off the track and and returns to the pits, and the lead car crosses the start-finish line for the first time. Quite simple, lads.
Clarification on that. I think you're probably right there, Alex. So the rain has started again. That is confirmed by our little monitor there. But it does look like we can actually have racing going on.
It does look like we can actually have racing going on. Not safety car racing. Oh, that's not a thing. That's just a safety measure. That's where racing gets neutralised. Okay, there is no racing. All right. But he wants to see racing. Is that Jolien, is it? Want to see racing? What kind of racing is this? Oh, it's not racing, it's just parading. Okay? Is a formation lap just a racing lap or racing lap? Or is it a formation lap? If the safety car is still leading them around, what is that then? Oh, that's still a formation lap. Yeah. Have we ever gone green? No. But rather than just be racing behind a safety car, which we're not doing, we actually want to see racing, don't we, Jolien? Yeah, race. Keep saying race. Make everybody think that it's a race. It's not. It's not.
And if that safety car gets out of the way, I think we could see some real...
It's just like them lap cars. Just get them out of the way, because then we could see a masterclass, couldn't we?
Car driving masterclass is going on.
Absolutely right, Jolien. We could see a masterclass.
It does look, it's very spray heavy at that point, and that view isn't probably the best one. But as you saw, a bit further around the circuit, we heard very clearly from Sergio Perez going up through Blanchimont, one of the quickest corners in motor racing, that he reckons he can do it. And there, look, the Mercedes is pushing on pretty hard to stay ahead of Max Verstappen, he's getting quite, it reminds me a little bit of, I forget which NASCAR driver it was, it might have been Tony Stewart, who got up very close to the rear of the...
This is a lovely story. Really lovely story.
The pace car in a NASCAR race, because he wanted the pace car to pick up the pace. It was going too slowly for him, and it looks very much like Max Verstappen wants the safety car to hurry up. He wants to get driving in this.
Race. Max wants to race.
So purple lap from Nikita Mazepin and what?
Purple lap, everybody. Oh, fastest lap. When do they tell you in a safety car situation who's setting a fastest lap?
Flag that up is because the purple colour on the timing screen is denoted to the fastest lap of the race.
Oh, it's because it denotes it's the fastest lap of the race. They had to get that in there, didn't they? Yes, we've got the FIA screens are showing that one of the cars has gone purple, indicating that means it's setting the fastest lap of the race. That confirms that the FIA are making this a race, doesn't it, everybody? Yes, purple. Let's talk about that. Let's condition people to believe that because they're notifying it, they're categorizing it as fastest, that means it's a race lap, everybody. No, it doesn't.
Which would obviously support our theory that the race is underway.
Oh, that supports the theory that the race is underway, because the FIA on their timing screens are denoting a fastest lap. Oh, so it must be underway, everybody.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We are getting lap time.
Absolutely right there. Well, yes, you're right. What you've just said is absolutely right there. Yes, we'll affirm we're the experts and we're saying that we're right. Absolutely right there.
And and gaps now, which we weren't doing on the formation lap.
The learned gentlemen, as they'd say within the judiciary, that are corrupt as fuck. Oh, the learned, the learned.
Red flag has come out though, so obviously there's been some decisions made by the FI that it possibly is a bit too wet.
Oh, the red flag has come out. We're nearly ready for racing. The conditions are getting better. Oh, when are we going to see the racing race? And Max wants to go racing, and the fans want to go racing, and it's a red flag. Oh.
But does that mean
the fans, look at them, they're waving their hands in the air and they're showing off their orange flares?
The race is over. Now, we didn't get confirmation that the race had started, so we'll just...
But Max has won, everybody. Look at the fans, the smooth brains.
So obviously there's been some decisions made by the FI that it possibly is a bit too wet, but does that mean the race is over? Now, we didn't get confirmation that the race had started,
look,
so we'll just wait to see if this will qualify as a result. If it does, Max Verstappen has won the Belgian Grand Prix.
Oh, if that counts, Max has won the Belgian Grand Prix that never started. Never met that start condition, did it? Never went racing, never went green. But Max has won it, say the commentators, the second commentary team, Formula One, management's own employed commentary team, employed by F1 TV on Pit Lane View.
George Russell has finished second and Lewis Hamilton third, but we do not know that that is the situation. We're just waiting for...
Here's race control. So we've got cameras in race control here. You've got 4 people lined up there, a person to Michael Massey's left. And what's normally in race control is at least another bank of screens like this where there's another 4 or 5 FIA personnel, usually at least 10 people in FIA race control. Now, Michael's aware that the cameras are there on him, you know, for the next Netflix series, Drive to Survive. Now, if you're race director and you're calling a halt to proceedings, then what you need to do is give an indication. You would think these days, with technology being what it is, he could either press a button on his race control computer, which would put all the red lights on, declaring the track is to go red. Okay, the race is going to be stopped. You'd think he'd be able to do that as the race director to call a halt to proceedings, wouldn't you? But no, Michael's aware the camera's on him. Let's have a look what Michael does.
Further confirmation, and it may be that race control will...
Yes, he puts his hand in the air from the office and goes and points, and that indicates the race is going to go red flag. This is what the race director does to indicate red flag. Does the signal there? Yes, because that's what you need to do as the race director, isn't it? Or is that just for the cameras, everybody? Let me know what you think in the comments section.
Just pause for a while and then try again in a little while. So,
oh, and give it the wave. That means it's a red flag because he's just waved his hand in the air and he's going to click his fingers.
This is not over yet, I don't believe.
But Michael there, well done, Michael. That just shows your acting skills. Harvey might give you the job if you perform what you need to do. Down on your hands and knees, lads.
As
the clock continues to count down.
Yeah, exactly. The clock will continue to count down. They've restarted the clock, but it could just be they'll wait for a little while. We saw it in Azerbaijan. The race director are quite willing to have a 2-lap race.
The race director wasn't willing to have a 2-lap race. In Azerbaijan, what happened is, it was about 50-odd lap Grand Prix. You saw over 40 laps of motor racing. You saw 40 laps of racing where it was green track conditions, i.e. go, and you go racing for over 40 laps. Right? It wasn't a 2-lap race in Azerbaijan. They turned it into that by stopping the race, wiping out all those previously built up advantages and go, hey, let's decide all this over just 2 laps. Let's do that instead. Yeah. But actually, you had actually witnessed a race up until that point.
And it was very entertaining as well.
Certainly, they could have...
But as we're going around the circuit, each of these sponsors are getting some airtime. They're getting their value for money that they put into the show.
Well, I've taken the view that...
The smooth brains in the crowd are going bananas, waving their hands in the air and setting off their flares, and their favourite is going to win, and Formula One management isn't going to have to refund them because it's giving them what they wanted. Not sport. Defrauded everybody, but doesn't have to give anybody a refund because it staged this. got the government, the governing body, to break the rules. Okay, so for financial reasons, this is how the world works. Okay, these big corporations, the big financial interests, ultimately control the government, the governing body, to break the laws to benefit the money interest. Oh, it helps the economy, doesn't it? Let's make them rich because they give people jobs and that helps our economy. So we will break the rules to allow them to defraud people and make money, and there will be no consequence for them because they've got government by the bollocks and actually control governments, which is how the FIA is ultimately controlled by the greater financial interest, Formula One management.
The competitors' efforts through...
And every single one of these competitors know the rules and regulations. I mean, Jonathan Wheatley is the expert of these regulations for when he wants to break them. Apart from now, doesn't want to pipe up and say that doesn't constitute a race because we never went green. Funny which regulations Jonathan Wheatley is the expert of, isn't it? Funny that.
Through the race week so far, through the qualifying sessions, they could have have taken the view that the competitors' efforts through the race week so far, through the qualifying sessions, require or merit points, and at this point have driven those 2 laps.
They could have taken the view that, the fact that these cars have done the 2 practice sessions and a qualifying session means that they deserve some points. No, it doesn't mean anything. All the qualifying does is set your start position for the competitive event, the race. Okay, just because you qualified well doesn't mean that you automatically get that many points for achieving that position in the race. We frequently see somebody set the fastest time in qualifying but not win the race. Just because you qualified in a certain position doesn't mean that you achieve that position in the race. No, where you achieve in the race is determined by how well you perform in that race. And if there is no race, there are no points awarded. You do not get points for qualifying. It's irrelevant. But look at what these people are trying to convince you as being worthy of points. Oh, wow, they did okay in qualifying, so it would be a shame not to give them some points for that. No, the whole construct of this is such that your points are given out based on race results, and there is no race. It's a non-event.
To drive this into a point-scoring Grand Prix.
To drive this into a point-scoring Grand Prix. Oh, to manufacture this into something that they can pretend was a Grand Prix. No, it's not.
Now, not that it's going to really matter because he's sitting in 18th position. Lance Stroll, during the red flag period, what we saw, it was Lance Stroll's car. We did see being worked.
Oh, the wind speeds dropped to 1.1 kilometres an hour, everybody. So how does that impact each of those competitors?
He changed the rear wing of his Aston Martin to a specification that was different to the one he did qualifying on, and like Kimi Raikkonen, that's not within the rules. So Lance Stroll will possibly pick up a penalty.
Oh, they know that rule as well. Just don't know the start rule, do they? What constitutes a race? They don't know that rule. The fact that you've not done a green lap, they don't know that rule, but they do know other rules, don't they?
As well, which will put, I think, will put it to the back of the field. But the difference between 18th and 20th for Perez, for Stroll is, well, pretty much irrelevant.
Right. He was just trying to put the car in the best possible position to go racing, if indeed they could.
Well, we're waiting to hear from the FIA about the current situation. As things stand, it could be that Max Verstappen has won the Belgian Grand Prix. We're not entirely sure. George Russell could have been second, Lewis Hamilton at third, Daniel Ricciardo.
Look, it could be that Max Verstappen's won the Grand Prix, that you've not seen anything. There's not been a single green lap. How can you describe that as being a Grand Prix? Oh, it's because you're being paid to. Because all media has been paid to mind condition everybody to believe that we are now going to stage a 2 to 3 lap parade of those cars around the track, and you've got to pretend that this constitutes a race. This is what Formula One management do.
Fourth, Sebastian Vettel fifth, Pierre Gasly in 6th position, Esteban Ocon 7th, Charles Leclerc 8th, Nicholas Latifi 9th in the points for Williams.
See, Formula One management have to produce accounts, and they are audited. And they didn't identify any additional fraud risks when their accounts were audited back up here, because Formula One management said that they didn't commit fraud, and then the auditors, KPMG, they also agreed that Formula One management didn't commit any fraud. So therefore, everybody, because they both said they didn't commit fraud, then they didn't commit fraud. Don't you worry, you little heads. The manager, Formula One, said they didn't, and the people that they brought in to audit them, they also said that they didn't. So that means they didn't. Okay, that's right. Don't you worry, little heads, everybody. But no, they did. They committed fraud. They lied to you. They constructed that. They broke the rules and regulations. They lied to you. They conditioned your mind to believe that that was a race, and it was not. The race never started. There was not a single green lap. And it's quite simple. But this is what they do. They weren't the only ones. The BBC mind conditioning machine, those people employed by Andrew Benson, they said very similar to this, which I'm going to do in the next video. Thank you all for your time.